It's me, Evermore Sol, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing a pick a card that is a loving message from your ancestors to support and help you during this time. And I will say, although it is a timeless reading, Mercury retrograde has been influencing the readings and the message the ancestors have been giving out. Before we jump into the meditation, I just want us to say a quick little invocation to invite your ancestors here, to ask them to guide you for the best pile that is meant for you, and also just to strengthen the connection you have with them. My beautiful beloved ancestors, I am flesh of your flesh, blood of your blood, a continuation of your lineage, your legacy, and I call you onto me. And I also want to take this time to invite your ancestors who use me as a medium to speak through me to give you the message you need at this time. With all of this being said, let's go ahead and jump into the meditation. So for those of you that chose pile number 1 or the Amethyst Aura, we're going to go ahead and jump into your reading. We're going to start with some tarot, and then some oracle cards, and then a quick little oracle card shuffle. But let's start with the tarot first. The first thing we have is Dr. Buzzard, or Justice, Gullah Jack, the Hanged Man, the 5 of Sticks in reverse, and the Garden, or the World, in reverse. So right off the back, as I was shuffling, I was really getting the feeling that a lot of you have not been pouring into yourself, but more so pouring into, I was hearing other people's problems, other people's hardships, like giving them the energy that you could be using towards yourself at the moment. And they really had this emphasis of essentially not pouring into yourself. And I just heard there is no need to be a martyr. They're really emphasizing you sacrificing. I'm hearing your energy, your time, your resources for the sake of other people. And while that can be a good thing to some extent, for a lot of you, I feel like you're starting to sabotage yourself. You're sabotaging your success. You're sabotaging, I'm hearing, your health, because you're putting so much of what you have into other people that there's not enough for you. And especially with this 5 of Sticks in reverse, I'm really getting the feeling that a lot of you are really like, you know how when you reach a certain point in your life and you have boundaries when people tell you things, like their negative experiences or their complaints, like you get a certain point, at least I have in my life, where you kind of like shut down a boundary. Like, I have certain rules, like if it's not an emergency, you can't you can't vent to me about all of your problems before a certain time of the day, because I like to start my days off with a certain energy, with a certain vibe, and I like to have, you know, I need to have my energy grounded and stable before taking on anyone else's. And I see for some of you, you're not doing that. Like, there are people I'm hearing that's calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning about their ex-boyfriend. But there are people that are calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning about their ex-boyfriend, and instead of you telling them, like, you know, I'm prioritizing my sleep in this moment. Right now, I really need to focus on myself, and I need to focus on, you know, making sure I have proper rest, making sure that I'm, you know, I'm good. I can't take your emotional baggage, essentially, at this moment. I can't take your emotional baggage, especially something like, you know, that's not an emergency, but more so you just complaining and venting. Just essentially in that case to be complaining and venting. I see that you have been getting up at 3 o'clock, and even though you don't want to do it and you know you're tired and you need to rest, but like you do it anyway. And they're just saying, like, that's not the way you need to be operating. A lot of you feel really constrained and restricted in life because you're not setting these boundaries with other people. Because again, a lot of you feel like you need to, you may not even realize it until you watch this reading, that you need to be a martyr and sacrifice your own happiness, your own health, in order to ensure other people are happy and other people are healthy and things of that nature. I'm hearing so other people are wealthy, like giving away your money to the point where you don't have enough to handle all of your business, but you want to make sure, like I'm hearing, someone isn't out on the streets. And here's the thing, that's not a bad quality to have, and that's not what I'm saying. That's not what is being conveyed to your ancestors. There's nothing wrong with that quality. But especially with the garden in reverse, I'm seeing this barren, like yellow lawn that just has been neglected, I'm hearing, for years. It's just like this barren yard that you can tell like nobody has been putting any like care or anything into it. And that's essentially what you're doing to your life in this moment. You're not nurturing your garden, you're not nurturing your life, you're not nurturing yourself, because you're putting all of these resources and all of this energy into other people. And they just want you to take a step back and say, you don't have to sacrifice yourself, your mentality, your health, your money for other people's sake. You don't have to, you know, do all of these things. You don't have to, because a lot of you feel like you have to, and they're coming through and saying, no, you don't. What's really standing out to me is Dr. Buzzard, justice. A lot of you feel like if you're not sacrificing something for others, or you're not, like, somebody asks you to do something and you say no, or you put down a boundary, you feel like that's going to give you bad karma in a sense, or you feel like you're doing something wrong, and by doing something wrong, that's going to give you bad karma, or you're just like not going to be getting blessed. And they're conveying that that is not the case. And I'm hearing like you're seeing things very black and white, and you're kind of ignoring this gray middle area. Like let's just use the 3 a.m. phone call as an example. If someone is calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning and they're venting and they're complaining about their ex-boyfriend doing whatever with his new girlfriend, you will not have bad karma, and you're not doing anything wrong by saying, look, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm tired, I want to go to bed, I was already sleeping and you're waking me up for something that's trivial, it's not important, and I'm going to sleep. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that. I feel like a lot of you think that would be like something so like harsh and cruel to do, and it's not. It's really not. I feel like the way you guys view things is like having these boundaries will make you wrong in some way. And I'm hearing because a lot of you never really had any boundaries in the first place. Like, you were never given the opportunity to set these healthy boundaries so you can just, you know, exist to the best capacity. And that's something they want you to change. They don't want you feeling constrained or restricted because you don't have these boundaries. They don't want you feeling constrained or restricted because you're constantly pouring into other people when you're already running on E. You're trying to give car rides, but your car is on E, and I'm hearing the check engine light keeps going off. But instead of you taking the time to put gas in your car and check your engine light, you're running your car ragged, and essentially your car is yourself in this metaphor. And that's just kind of the energy I'm picking up. We also have, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, me with the pronunciations, as these are African goddesses and deities. I believe it's Atete, and it says worthiness. We also have Sarah Lakali, hope I'm pronouncing this right, and that says divine lineage. And last but not least, we have Malambo, I hope I'm pronouncing that as well. And then we have, which is self-sabotage. So what's really sticking out to me is, for some of you, I feel like you do this because, you know, some of you, I don't think you're worthy, but I think you have this, you feel this calling to heal and nurture others, especially with this divine lineage and just the energy I'm picking up from Sarah Lakali. Like, it's just that energy I'm picking up of a divine healer. A lot of you feel like it's kind of your role to heal others, and your ancestors agree, but they're just saying, like, as a healer, you need to make sure that you're still nurturing and caring for yourself. Like, healers need time to nurture and restore themselves as well. And they're saying that's the part you've been slacking off in, and that's the part you really need to focus on at this time. Also, with this Mercury retrograde, again, timeless reading, but if you're watching this during the time it comes out, or if you're watching this during a Mercury retrograde, please take this into consideration. You really need to analyze your relationships as well. You don't want to be around a lot of people who are really comfortable with waking you up at 3 o'clock in the morning to talk about their ex-boyfriend who's posting pictures of their new girlfriend on Instagram, and they don't like the outfit she's wearing, or they're judging her for the outfit she's wearing. And I don't know why this like example keeps popping up, but it is. You want to analyze these relationships, because especially with worthiness and divine lineage and self-sabotage, you don't want to hold on to these people who essentially aren't willing to acknowledge and see the worthiness in you as a human being, and how this matter that is so trivial is so important to wake you up. Because in a way, with them doing that, it kind of shows how much they value you as a person. You know you're worthy, but the way they treat you, it's like they don't see your worth. They don't see your value as a human being and as a healer, and how you just need time to restore and relax yourself. I'm also hearing some of you may be healers and diviners and things of that nature, and you might have these issues with these boundaries with your clients, and they're also really emphasizing hey, you really need to set some boundaries with it comes to your clients. If it's not some type of coaching deal where they can contact you at any time, and you just did 1 or 2 readings, you need to let them know hey, I've already done your reading, that's it, we go as far as the reading, and after that, unless it has to deal with the reading that I gave you and you have an issue with it, or you could just leave me a good review, that communication has to be cut off, because it's all about really nurturing yourself so you can really be the best healer you can be. You don't want, I'm hearing, your business and your path to be sabotaged because you weren't laying down these healthy boundaries. And now I'm hearing you've exhausted yourself and your body to the point that you are now sick, and you can't give to the community like they need you to. So really, this loving message, I'm going to do a couple more on-card shuffles, but this loving message is really we recognize and see the beauty and the community work you are doing, but while you are doing all of this, please make sure you are nurturing yourself, you are nurturing your body, you are nurturing your spirit. That's sticking out really, really far right now. I'm seeing some great auras, so some of you may already be sick right now because of how exhausted you are. I'm seeing somebody with a great aura. I'm seeing that your aura is usually a bright, vibrant purple, but with how exhausted and just how people have been wearing you down, it's a grayish color. Yeah. A pearl in the Caribbean Sea. It says, call upon the power of the ocean to cleanse your body, home, or object in question. All stagnant energy will be washed away. Your energy is becoming stagnant because you're there's nothing really moving forward. There's nothing really being cleansed. Again, you're putting so much into other people. When it comes to yourself, your temple, your spirit, it's very, very stagnant because you're not doing anything for it. Find time to show yourself the empathy and understanding that you give to those around you. Again, the issue isn't really how you treat other people, it's the way you treat yourself. And how you've been treating others is essentially how you need to treat yourself. And again, because that's what's going to make you be the best healer or diviner or whatever it is. Even I'm hearing therapist, community giver in some shape, way, or form. That's what's going to allow you to be the best version of whatever it is you are focused on at this time. So, with that being said, this is the reading for my pile number 1s. They're also saying please make sure you're doing some good maintenance with your third eye chakra, and I'm hearing to do a lot of self-care and just nourishment of your body. And also they said fix that diet. Stop ordering out all the time and go back to cooking home-cooked meals. And a lot of you weren't able to do these home cooked meals again because you were pouring into so many people. You're exhausted and have not been taking care of yourself. And they're just saying in a loving way, like, we see you and we recognize all the work you do and we are so proud of you. But honey, you really need to just focus and nourish yourself for a moment and lay down those boundaries so you can be the best version. With that being said, this is the reading for my number ones. If you enjoyed, please make sure you like, leave a comment, let me know it resonates because I love reading them. And subscribe if you'd like to see more content in the future, and feel free to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok to get some more content in between YouTube readings. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Again, make sure you connect with your ancestors as well and get some, direct info and just some communication and connection with them. Bye. Shipping number 2, or I believe this is a little aquamarine stone. This is the reading for you. We're going to start with your tarot cards before moving to the oracle cards, and then before ending it with a on-camera oracle shuffle. We have Daughter of Coins. We have Railroad Bill, or the Chariot. John Horse, or the Emperor. And Courting, or the Lovers, all in upright position. I also want to note we have 3 major arcana cards, so some strong energy going on with my number 2s. And I'm also feeling like for a lot of you it is tied to, again, Mercury retrograde influencing this reading. Timeless, yes, but if you're watching this during a retrograde, please take these messages to heart because they're going to help you with that as well. With this Lovers card, it doesn't have to pertain to a romantic relationship, but just examining the relationships around you, especially now, again, because we have Mercury retrograde in Libra. So what's really standing out to me is how we have the Emperor and the Chariot right next to each other, with the Emperor just to me being this card of unshakable, I don't think stability is the right word I'm looking for. It's like a mountain that can't be moved. Like having that confidence, that strength, that nothing can knock me down. And also this drive of I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep moving forward. And this Daughter of Coins energy, I feel like a lot of my number 2s are looking at ways to increase and expand their abundance, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But what's sticking out to me is this Courting card right here. And again, the ancestors are really they're really emphasizing this Mercury and retrograde in Libra. And what they're communicating to me right now, because I just saw some images of a couple of little garden snakes moving through the grass, not super deadly, or they can't really knock you off, because again, you have that energy of nobody's gonna knock me off. I'm on my game, I know what to do, I'm on it. But also they just want you to be mindful of the people around you right now. And I'm gonna do these oracle cards as well. Okay, right, because we have I can't pronounce that, but it says Soul Forgiveness, Medusa Rage, and Sekhmet Wounded Healer. Okay, right, because I shuffled these cards a while ago and I had to leave. There we go, it's clicking. So here is the thing with my number 2s. A lot of you put on this image of unshakable thing, nobody can knock me down, and I'm always on 100%, I'm always good, life is always perfect. A lot of you don't give yourself the time and the space to experience your emotions and be vulnerable, and I see that is going to actually burn you out in the long run. Having this facade that you are 100% perfect at all times, that no one courting, no one, oh there it is. Because with you having that facade, I see that a lot of you don't communicate when you are upset or when someone does something to hurt you. And so a lot of your partnerships and romances and things of that nature and relationships overall have this imbalance because the people aren't really seeing you for you. They're not seeing your true self. And that's because you don't allow people to see your true self, because you have this, I'm in it to win it. I'm on my game. I'm always on 1,000%. Like, I'm great. Life is great all the time. And that's not always the case. Like, I see you always present yourself as this person who is always expanding and, always growing, and you just live like on the outside, looking from the outside and looking at you. Life is always beautiful and wonderful. But I do see these moments where, your facade cracks a little bit because of the people around you. Again, not purposefully trying to hurt you. Again, it was that garden snake that stuck out to me. Like, it wasn't like a cobra, it was a garden snake. And garden snakes can't really, they're more of a nuisance than anything else. So they can't really hurt you. And if they bite you, they wouldn't, I don't know if they bite, but they wouldn't intentionally try to hurt you, They couldn't really hurt you. And I'm seeing people, like, sometimes making some comments or doing certain things that the intention isn't to hurt you. The intention isn't to belittle you or anything. But since they're not really sure of what the boundary is in regards to emotions, since you never show it, or I see you, like, laugh off, like, a lot of, like, things that people say, even if it's hurtful to you, it's really, really hard for them to, like, deepen their connection with you, I'm hearing. Because I see you, and here's the crazy part, because they don't know when they do something wrong. But when they do something wrong with Medusa rage, and I can't pronounce this deity's name, but soul forgiveness, you hold on to that, you latch onto that. And some of you resent people for it. Some of you resent people for not seeing you clearly and, not being able to just understand you. But here's the thing. No one is a mind reader. As much as we want people to be mind readers, they're simply not. And I'm seeing, like, here's the two things that's going to happen. Wounded healer and soul forgiveness. You're going to first need to forgive them, because you have to realize, like, there's no way, if you don't tell people, for them to 100% like know if they made you upset or if they, like, disrespected you or anything. And I also see a lot of you are gonna need to, like, allow your emotions to be, like, expressed, because that's the only way these connections are gonna deepen. I'm also hearing this because this just came through. A lot of you are so focused, like, on the bag and getting money and, like, just being successful and things of that nature, that some of you are actually missing out on just deep connections with people. And that's what really fulfills us. Like, the success is nice, the money is nice, but when it comes down to, like, your true happiness, it's with the relationship with yourself and the relationship with others, and both of them you're not really being truthful with. You're not being truthful with yourself about how you feel, and you're not being truthful with other people about how you feel. And I see that's causing, like, a disconnect in your happiness. Like, some of you I see pushing, like, just pushing towards more success, pushing towards more abundance, pushing towards more money, because you think that's what's going to make you happy. But in all actuality, what's going to make you happy is healing. What's going to make you happy is restoring your relationships. What's going to make you happy is expressing your emotions. I see a lot of you need to shift the focus from external to internal in order to be able to grow, in order to be able to experience the happiness I'm hearing you've been looking for. Whew. Let's just do a quick little on-camera shuffle. Like, it's okay to feel hurt and it's okay to feel pain, but instead of letting it just simmer and I think simmer is the word I'm looking for. You need to really express it to yourself and to other people. This is 2. I'm going to reshuffle, but let's just see what... Harvest. Prepping a fertile land takes time, patience, persistence. In the end, you and generations to come shall reap its benefit. So they are acknowledging all of the work that you put in, especially with the 999999999 5 nines. So they are acknowledging all the hard work you put in. So you will be, successful. I see that you don't really have to keep working yourself to the bone to get more success. It's just gonna come. But again, it's not always about you, just enjoying success in life. But this is them acknowledging all the work you put in, will be fruitful. Ooh, so here's another one. We have young child. It says embracing the joys of your youth and living each day at a time. Remember the things you enjoyed doing as a child. So some of you, then it's kind of like time back to now chasing the bag. Some of you, you don't have to be like, because I'm really picking up heavy Capricorn energy, heavy earth sign energy, Capricorn or Virgo. I'm also for some picking up Sagittarius energy as well. 10th house energy in an earth sign. But essentially what I'm really picking up and what they're really trying to convey is like, your life doesn't have to be all work and no play and no vulnerability. Like, it can be about passions. It can be about focusing on your relationships. It can be about, just expressing yourself and being happy. I feel like some of you have gotten so consumed with expanding your abundance, expanding your money, expanding your success, that you're kind of like neglecting every other area of life, and that's just something they want you to return to. So with that being said, this is my reading for my number 2s. If you enjoyed, please make sure you like and comment. Let me know if it resonated. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Make sure to connect with your ancestors, and if you want to see any more of my content between the YouTube readings, feel free to follow me over on Instagram or TikTok. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. Bye. Here's pile number 3, or the Black Sardonyx. This is the reading for you. I just want to get my incense lit before we start really quickly, just to have that going as an offering to the spirits that are gracing us with their presence. Perfect. So we're going to start with your tarot cards before moving to your oracle cards, and then a quick on-camera oracle shuffle. So let's go ahead and start. We have Dr. Grant, or the Hermit upright. 7 of 6. Strength. Again, Mercury retrograde influencing the reading. And Miss Ida in reverse. I get the feeling that a lot of people, I'm hearing, tried to pull one over on you. It didn't work, but I'm seeing that people have essentially been trying to deceive you, and that's really been making you feel some type of way. You're like, I'm not really doing anything to cause people to want to deceive me, so I'm not really sure why it's happening. And I see that you've remained strong, but being deceived, and when people even try to deceive you, it's still very, very hurtful. And I see a lot of you right now are using this time to go inwards and spend time with yourself and really, gain knowledge and wisdom, as you are alone. Because what I'm hearing, a lot of these people I just heard they weren't tests, but they were hardships that occurred, so you can move into this phase of being receptive to, I'm hearing, learning more spiritual practices, having more spiritual experiences. I'm getting the feeling that for my number 3, some of you may actually be a bit new to spirituality. I'm seeing that a lot of you were very logical and practical people. Some of you, this may even be like either your first pick card reading, or you haven't really been watching that many, or you haven't really been into tarot reading or anything. You didn't believe it was real, or that it could be accurate in any shape, way, or form. I'm just seeing a lot of skepticism when it comes to the spiritual realm with this group. And I see that you got to the point where you were like, what is going on? And now that has in a way brought you to your spiritual journey, like all of those negative experiences you have. Because I feel like for a lot of us, there's like a specific experience that you have that leads you to your spiritual journey. Experience or experiences that you have that leads you to your spiritual journey. And for you, it was like this constant feeling and these experiences of being attacked and people trying to deceive you, and it's just all of this chaos in your life. You're like, I just need something I can rely on. And what ended up happening is, or what's happening is, you're learning to rely on your spirit team, your ancestors, your guides, God, your higher self, and just having this trust and faith in the universe now that you are seeing things clearly. Oh, we also have, this is a new deck and I'm struggling with the names. Abonimba, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We have Harvest, Queen Nandi, Intuition, and last but not least, Noonday True. Yeah. Oh, this is really sticking out to me. Do you see how she's essentially looking at her own reflection? Like we have True, like she's finally seeing like who she really is for the first time. I feel like a lot of you are finally like getting to know your true self, because you're getting to have a relationship with your guides and your highest self. You're starting to feel like you really are learning more about the world. You're trusting your intuition more, which is in a way I'm seeing protecting you from that deception and those attacks that you have when you were really just focusing on like practicality and logic and not following your intuition and not following your gut because you didn't hear it because you were so disconnected. And this is in a way allowing you to have a beautiful and bountiful harvest in your life, because now instead of making your decisions based off of solely what your mind thinks, you're connecting with spirit, you're connecting with your intuition. You say, okay, what feels right? Because a lot of times things can look good on paper, but then you walk in and you jump into this relationship or whatever the case may be, and it's just not it. It's not what you were expecting. It's not what you thought it was. But I see with you taking the time to instead have this moment now to not narrow, but like settle down with your spirit team, connect with yourself, connect with your higher self, connect with your intuition. I see that this is in turn allowing you to grow in a way you've never been able to grow before, and it's allowing you to live in a way you've never been able to live, in the best way possible for my number 3. So with that being said, I want to do a quick on camera shuffle. We have Hammock. It's time for you to rest your body and mind. It's now time for action. Yeah, this isn't the time to be going out and doing a bunch of things. This is the time to be taking it easy, really connecting with your guides, really connecting with yourself, learning yourself, doing a lot of shadow work, doing a lot of journaling. Like really, this is the time to just like be like with you, and like that's it. Like you in spirit, and if you have a partner, like with them, and like that's it. This is not the time to be going out, partying, clubbing, being with other people or anything like that. Yeah, and for the second card, it's La Diablesse. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it says, the name hides her goat leg beneath a beautiful dress. Don't ignore red flags adorned with ribbons. A lot of you were ignoring those red flags because you didn't have, again, that capability to sense and pick up things that, our rational and logical mind just can't notice. The reason why they call it our sixth sense. And last but not least, we have give thanks today. Gratitude is the attitude of today. So your ancestors, they weren't happy that you had to go through what you had to go through in order to get to this point. But they do want you to find some type of gratitude that you are where you are right now with them, with spirit, with yourself. And usually it's not a lot of good experiences that lead us to our spiritual journey, our spiritual awakening. For me, I was after I went to therapy about some pretty traumatic things that I had experienced in life. I remember I went to therapy and my therapist told me I had PTSD, and I thought she was crazy because I had been living that way for most of my life, but turns out I had PTSD that whole time. And therapy led me to my spiritual journey, so it wasn't something positive that led me there. it was a lot of traumatic things that eventually was about to break me. And I see these things, like all these attacks, all the deception. You felt like you were about to break, you were about to lose it. But, you know, and I like to always think of it this way. At your lowest point, the only place you can go from there is up. And that's essentially what happened. And they're just saying, like, you know, we are sorry about what you had to experience. But man, are we so grateful to have this beautiful connection with you now. And we hope and we want you to find gratitude to have this beautiful connection with us. And that's really something they want to convey with you right now, because they love you so much and they are so proud of you. Beautiful. So for my number 3s, this is the reading for you. If you feel called, please like, comment if it resonated, subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Take some time to connect with your ancestors and give them thanks. And if you would like to see any content between my YouTube readings, if you feel called to, please subscribe over on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and have a beautiful day and a wonderful life.